Alright guys, Mr. Answer 414, we're out here trying to learn how to solve equations. We got a two-step equation on the board. We got 5x plus 3 equals 23. When you're solving an equation, you want to make sure you get x by itself. So what we want to do before we start solving is circle that variable so we know that's when we're trying to get by ourselves. We're going to get x equals to something, so I'm going to put that right there so I know what I'm going to do. So the first step we're going to do is subtract 3 from both sides because we want to undo addition. And if you do something to one side, you've got to do it to the other to keep it balanced. Now before we continue here, I want to make sure we draw a train track to make sure that we keep our equation balanced and everything on the left on the right. So if you take away 3 from something that you have, it makes a 0, cancels to 0, so you bring down 5x. And 23 minus 3 is basic math, that's 20. The connection between a 5 and an x here is multiplication. So if we're multiplying, we have to undo that with division. So to show division, we write it just like a fraction. Divided by 5, that's going to make a 1, simplify to 1, so you'll have 1x left, and your answer will be x equals 4. So we'll write that up here to make sure it's right. Now if we wanted to check our answer, we'll plug a 4 in for x. 5 times x is 20. Plus 3 is 23. If you have any questions, comment down below. More equations, two-step. You know it's a two-step because it follows this pattern having a constant in either multiplication or division. So we have 7 minus x divided by 2 equals 2. So the first step is making our train track. Right down the middle, so we make sure we get the left and the right the same. Now, when you're solving equations, you're doing the opposite of PEMDAS. Basically, you're undoing addition and subtraction first. So that positive 7, we have to get rid of it. We have to move it to the other side. So to do that, you subtract 7 or add a negative 7 to both sides. That'll make a 0. So then all we have left on the left-hand side is a negative x divided by 2. That's the same thing as negative 1/2 times x, whatever way you see it. And that's going to equal 2 minus 7. The 7 is greater. Value from 0, absolute value, it's going to be a negative 5. Now to undo division, the opposite of that is multiplication. So we're going to multiply this term by negative 2 over 1. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Now, my helper here put an x, but a lot of you might want to do that, but we're going to change that. Instead of putting an x, I want us to put the entire side in parentheses, because when these get more complicated, that'll help. And we'll do the same thing on this side. So we're going to multiply that by negative 2 over 1. And if you remember how to multiply fractions, you multiply straight across. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So we get negative x times negative 2 is positive, because negative times negative is positive, positive 2x. And then 1 times 2 is 2, so it's 2x over 2. 2x over 2 on the left-hand side. And then we have positive 10 over 1 on the right-hand side, over 1, because you multiply 5 times 2, and then 1 times, this should be a 1 here, set this up, set to the side for a second. So make sure you can see this here, 2x divided by 2 equals 10 divided by 1. So we're going to simplify this. These will make a 1, 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we have an x all by itself, and 10 over 1 is just 10. So the solution for this equation, the value for the variable that makes both sides true is 10.